I just have a couple of sheets of paper towels, right? And I have a container of water. This is actually an old container that frozen macaroni and cheese came in. Then I have a empty container that I can mix watercolors in. But you should have gotten a set of watercolor paints with your in your kit. So I want to show you, if you don't have containers that you can use, these are really, really handy. If you don't have that, then what you can do is these watercolors are made so that these guys can pop out, right? So you can totally take your watercolor pellets out, and then this area you can put water in, and then this area that has the little, I don't know if you can see, that has the little separators, you can use that to mix your paint in. So like if you were going to mix red, you could do it in this first section and blue in this section, and they won't mix together because it has this divider here. So you can use that if you don't have some other containers to use, but I have some bigger containers to use, so I'm going to use that. I also have some paint brushes, right? These are watercolor paint brushes, and you guys have paint brushes from in your art materials. I actually haven't gotten my art materials yet, so these are all just my materials. Now I have my drawing that I covered with graphite and traced onto my canvas. And then I have my canvas with the glue areas raised. So I'm going to paint my Necker cube yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some water, and I'm just going to put some water into my empty container. And then I'm going to grab some yellow paint and mix that up. And I'm going to get it to be pretty, um, pretty yellow. I don't want it to be too light, right? So, and now I'm going to start to paint that all over the inside of my Necker cube. I'm going to do my black lines. I'm going to do my black lines after I get done painting it. You can do it either way, completely up to you. I don't mind which one you do. And this center area here around this sphere, that is going to be where these yellow panes overlap, because I'm trying to make this look like it's a three-dimensional box. So this front square here will overlap this back square here in this square here. So I'm going to try to make that really, really like a darker yellow, so that it looks like you're looking through two pieces of glass. And I'm just going to have to work on layering that up. Now, in order to get that whole look of the stained glass, right, I'm going to have to go in and put a little bit of other colors in there like that woman did in the video that I showed you. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry a little bit before I go in and do that. But I think you can kind of see that it is already starting to look three-dimensional because I made that area darker in there, right? So I could go in at any point and darken up these lines, but it definitely would work better if I wait until my watercolors dry, because what's happening is my Sharpie is starting to get wet, so it's not going to work as good. So I'm going to just wait. I'm going to hold off on making that. Now, when these are dry, I'm going to go in and add some more tones to make it look more illuminated. I'm going to make my circle in the middle orange because I actually, in reality, want it to be red, but because you're looking through it, at it through the yellow glass, it'll appear more orange. So after that dries, I think I'm going to go in and just put in some hints of red So it looks way cooler. All right, so now on the outside, I'm gonna put, I think I'm gonna put just all kinds of crazy colors out here, just kind of going all the way around. And none of the colors will bleed into each other because you have that kind of like wall of blue that's gonna stop your colors from mixing. So I'm just gonna do a couple of colors alternating. I'm just gonna do it kind of willy-nilly without a plan. And like I said, I'm gonna go back in after it dries and add a second coat of color here and there to make it look more luminous. Now you can choose to just let this dry and go with the flat kind of tones. But if you do go in and just start to add some dimension like that, just to make it look a little bit more like, yeah, like how when you're looking through stained glass, it's not it's not that flat. It really does have, like a lot of little other tones to it, right? That you can just kind of like put in to make it look like there's really light shining through it. And it's because, when they make the handmade glass, it's not completely flat. It's a little wavy. And I don't know, have you guys ever noticed, like, if you go into old houses, the glass in the windows look wavy. And that's because in the olden days, all glass was made by hand. Now, all glass is basically made by machine. So there's not so much of waviness because the machines that make the glass, they make them so incredibly flat, like, and smooth that there's no waviness. And I know my house is really old, and all the old windows that I have, they have wavy glass. And I really like that because I like, you know, I like when things are handmade and something is made from kind of like scratch. I think that's really kind of cool. So I really kind of like that. In fact, we were thinking about when we moved into our house getting new windows, but we decided to just fix the windows that we have so that we could keep the wavy glass. So I'm just kind of trying to put color around so that, it's not just flat color, it has some variation to it, and that will give more of the effect that it is illuminated. And then again, when I go back in after it dries, I'm gonna try to make a teal color. It came out pretty green. I'm gonna go back into it and I'm gonna pull out those solder lines. So if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate. You can totally just throw them in the chat. Yeah, if you know what you're doing, you can totally go do it. But just want to suggest that you put in an exit ticket. Go to the last page of our EDIO lesson and put in an exit ticket because those exit tickets are worth a lot of points in the end. It could, if you have a rough day when you take the test and your test doesn't come out so good, and you've posted to the exit ticket, that'll save you and give you a much better grade. So Yep, do what you gotta do. Have an awesome day. I can't wait to see everybody's artwork. It's gonna be awesome fun. And if you're leaving, just say bye before you head out so I can say bye back. Bye, Logan. Bye, Aubrey. Bye, Krista. Have an awesome day. Bye, Ramir. Bye, Ramir. I hope you heard me say bye. Bye, guys. Have an awesome day. Let me know of any difficulties that you have. Once again, don't forget to please put in your exit ticket. You can also use your paper towel to sop up any messes that you make. All right, Autumn, Kay, Luke, do you guys have any questions? You guys good? You know what you're doing? All right. Well, if you feel good about this and you don't have any questions, I want to let you go early so you can get started. Just make sure that you don't leave any of your canvas blank. You need to have color everywhere. Hi, Slane. Do you need help with anything? Are you good with this project?
I have a question.
Yeah, what's your question?
For the clue, what happening for the clue?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Uh, for the clue, what, what I do with the clue?
All right, so all you're gonna do is let me grab my drawing because I think I can show you easier. So let's say this is my drawing, but let's pretend that this is actually my canvas. So you're just gonna take your canvas. So this is my canvas, this is my drawing on your canvas, and then you're gonna take your glue and you're gonna just squeeze and trace all the lines with the glue, right? So that your lines are now raised. Like if you look at a piece of stained glass, the solder, which is kind of the lines, kind of we're pretending that the lines are the solder, that they would be raised above, right? It's like three-dimensional. The solder is higher than the glass. So the glue is going to sit on top of the canvas and be raised up and kind of like give the impression that it's solder. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
yeah, just trace your drawing everywhere with the glue and then just let it dry. Let it dry for it's probably going to take like 3 hours or something like that for it to completely dry. And then after it's dry, then you can go in and paint, and then you take the marker. After that you take the marker and you color in the glue. So I'm just putting the marker on the top of the raised glue, and it just gives the impression that it's solder. So basically just trying to make it look as much like stained glass as you possibly can. Does that make sense?
Okay.
But you made us a meeting, so we're gonna meet and if you have any problems with that, we can definitely go over it then. Celine, thank you so much for making that meeting, by the way. I'm so glad about that.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else that you have
No,
questions
that's
about?
it.
All right.
Yeah,
Have
that's it. You
have an
too. You too. You too. You too.
bye bye.
Bye.
Autumn, are you here? Are you still in class? Are you listening? All right, Autumn. Well, if you can hear me, you don't have any questions. I hope you have a great day and I'll see you on Friday. Bye, Autumn.